Alrighty, welcome to Trans Talk with Kai, where I interview other trans people about their experiences and their pros and cons, trials and tribulation to their transition. I hope this will be a good learning experience, and even if you don't learn, I hope you just enjoy. So come catch a vibe, and yeah, let's get it.
And I was looking back on my whole life and realizing that at 6 and 5 years old, I was doing things like that didn't make any sense for any cis boy to be doing. I was answering questions about my dysphoria and things like that, and I really realized at 25 years old that I was trans only because I'd been trans the whole time. And I just didn't know what trans was or how they felt, and no one had told me. Honestly, I thought that every single, straight, person, cis person, felt the way that I did, which doesn't make any sense to me now, especially after talking to my cis friends about the things that I talked about, right? So at 25 years old, during therapy, which I think is kind of the right place to start to describe discover some of that stuff, or at least a good place, I'll say that. My pronouns, I, she, her. How did I choose my name? I chose Cora because I ended up watching way too much Avatar, Cora, and she's kind of my favorite ever. She's a strong LGBTQ character, but also technically trans in the sense that she was Aang and then was reincarnated as a girl, and I always loved her as a character, and so I named myself after her. I spelled it differently, Cora instead of Kora, because I didn't want everyone to know how much of a nerd I was. So, yeah, that didn't help very much. But how do you think your personality is now compared to before? I am a very different person. I think before I was just withdrawn from everything, emotionally, spiritually. I couldn't help others because I couldn't help myself. And I think now that I love myself and I actually feel good about myself, I have the room and the space to actually talk to others, to help them, to be good with them, and so it's made me more of a loving and caring person that I always knew I was, just wasn't able to have the space for it. And I think it also made me much more just expressive, because I was finally felt free to express myself and to do what I wanted to do and to be me. I think before my transition, I was codependent and only cared about what others think. Now I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks. And as you can see, I get my tattoos, I wear what I want, I pierce what I want. I don't really care. I'm gonna do what I want. And if someone else doesn't like it, it's their problem. And I think that is not who I was before. I care far too much what others think. What is the biggest changes I've noticed since starting hormones? There's been a lot. I've had everything from my feet shrink to my height shrink. I've had, obviously, not safe for work changes when it comes to how sex is. I have, boob growth, which is really nice, because I don't think I really even need surgery. I got plenty from just hormones. My skin got softer, my smell changed, both how I smell and my body odor. My hair comes in thicker. All those physical changes are amazing, and I think the biggest change though is my emotional change. Everything's quieter in my head. I think before my transition, I was so wound up and like unable to process things because my brain wasn't getting what it needed. And 2 weeks after I started hormones, it was like I like struck me. I actually stopped, physically stopped, and just went, "Whoa!" There was this moment. I was just standing there, and it was like a switch had turned off, and suddenly, like I just had this moment of clarity, where it was like everything's okay, and my brain just felt okay, and everything felt good. And I think that change has made the biggest difference, even beyond just all the physical changes, because those helped immensely. But I think it just, that quieting down, that dimming down of what the noise of like everything was. I think the other thing that changed is just like my metabolism too. But that's pretty normal. Did hormones affect my sexual orientation at all? Little bit. Not much. I was pansexual beforehand. I had a little bit of attraction. I don't know if it really changed it that much, because really what ended up happening is I just more realized that I didn't really care about sex unless I actually liked a person. I didn't really have any attraction to anybody until I had a deep emotional connection to them. So I realized I'm more like what's more like demi, but pan-romantic. So like I don't care what your gender is. If you're a good person, I'm attracted to you, and that's it. All in all, am I happy now that I've made the leap? Very happy. Like, I can't tell you how happy I am. I do think some things have helped with that. Like, even though I got divorced as a result, I still have my kids. My parents didn't disown me. Like, my family is still with me. My friends stayed with me. And that was a huge surprise, because I was fully prepared to lose all of them, given my background, like, and the fact that they are very Christian. And I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest. So I am happy about that, but I think it's just allowed me to enjoy everything else more, because I'm not distracted by any losses, that I've just been able to like enjoy the change and me. I'm still successful in my career. I was lucky when I came out, my job accepted me and supported me. And since then I've gotten 2 different jobs and have done really well. But that's been to me luck. That's been to me something that I've been very fortunate with. And like, so those things that I hear a lot of people distract them with, I didn't have. But I think that's partially because of the fact that I'm happy in myself. Like, and that's given me the confidence to just work through anything. And that's amazing to me.